expenses. I've already explained in the other video. Now material is of two types, direct material, indirect material. Labor is of two types, direct labor, indirect labor. And expense of two types, direct expense, indirect expense. And I explain what is direct material. The material which is ultimately traceable in the product. Suppose your dress is made of cloth and cloth is available now, traceable. But some materials like diesel, lubricating oil, other things are used in producing the dress. Those materials are not now traceable in the product. Those are indirect material. Similarly, I explain labor. I give an example that the pilot is the direct labor in plane. And the person who are like air hostess or the people who are working in the airport, ground level people and laborers, they are indirect for flight. Similarly, bus driver is the direct labor in bus. But the conductor and the other person who cleans the bus is indirect labor. You understood that. And expenses also, I explained what is direct, what is indirect. Direct expenses, suppose the engineer or architect has given a drawing to you for making the building. And based on the drawing you are making the building. So that amount you pay to the engineer, that is direct expenses. But some other expenses which you have made, suppose you have given refreshment to him, something like that, and some other expenses which are not traceable now in the building. But if you look at the building, you can trace that there was a design. That design is available in the building, traceable now. So the amount paid for the design or say drawing is direct labor. And other expenses which are made but which expenses are not now traceable in the building, these are indirect expenses. So you have understood what is direct expenses and what is indirect expenses. Now you understand. So if you think of material, direct material, indirect material. Labor, direct labor, indirect labor. And expenses, direct expenses, indirect expenses. Now you divide this way. I am not writing here but I am explaining, you will remember. You take all direct and all indirect, two parts. So if you take all direct, it will be direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. And indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expenses. If you collect the expenses and make these steps of calculation, so in one account you put direct material plus direct labor plus direct expenses. This total will be prime cost. Clear? Very simple. And the other hand, indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expenses. Total this, aggregate is overhead. Overhead. It's very simple. When you make the cost sheet, you must have, your teachers have taught you what is prime cost, then overhead, all these things are there in the cost sheet. Now you should understand cost sheet better after getting this concept. If you want cost sheet, I can also explain to you, but you've learned anything. But that cost will be now clear. I'm just repeating, you remember cost sheet, how it is made? In the cost sheet, you write direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, total is prime cost. And then you add the overheads. Overhead may be factory overhead, selling and distribution overhead, office administration overhead, this is a different thing. But the question is, what is overhead? If anybody asks you in the question, what is overhead? You say, overhead is the aggregate of, mind it, overhead is the aggregate of the indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses. Clear? If anybody asks you what is prime cost, you define this way. Prime cost is the aggregate of direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. Clear? So I have explained in this video what is prime cost and what is overhead. And this concept is very essential for you to make the practical questions. In anywhere, any course, become CA anywhere, this concept is very essential. And if you do the problem now without understanding the concept, then it shall not proceed much. It will not be good. But you understand the concept and do it will be very, very easy. Okay? So next video I will be discussing some other points. Thank you.